My forgetfulness. My forgetfulness. Let me put this on mute. God, I can't even see if the fucking red light's on or not. Let me turn this on. Here we go. Power. Hit my switch. It's nice having everything, There was a time when everything had to be done manually. We didn't have. Wireless was expensive. Oh, I forgot. I have to switch this to one. I've already had, when I fired it up this morning, it had that weird looking screen. It happens every time now. It's just going to be part of what it is, I guess. My forgetfulness, God, I hate it. So I talked about it yesterday. The word stuck on the tip of my tongue. It worries me. All the chemical, I cannot tell you how many chemicals I've been exposed to, how much radiation I've been exposed to. Both of them are just fucking ridiculous. I grew up in the cancer belt down in the Bay Area between Standard Oil and Standard Oil. They have a plant down in Richmond, and then one out by Rodale where you have, and Hercules, where you have the pastel tanks. And that's where we used to tell people that, where did you live? When I would be traveling around doing nuclear work, I would tell them where I lived and nobody knew where it was, of course. And I said, well, there's an area north of San Francisco where all the pastel tanks are. I said, that's where I grew up. The pile that we've played and fished on since I was just a young kid turned out to be the number 2 site on the toxic, or on the Superfund cleanup list for toxicity. You wonder why my health is so bad in the liver and kidneys and shit and lungs, right? So, my sister died of lung cancer there. It was a cancer belt. We were surrounded by refineries. And then we'd go fishing, and the Selby, Tormey, California, population like 15 houses, right? They were told in a matter of just like 2 days, you have to leave. Now, you're leaving now. They did a survey on the how toxic the area was. You're leaving now. So they made everyone leave. They pulled down the houses, but they really didn't clean it that well. All of the slag, after they take all the good shit out, the slag that's left over is taken over and poured out in an area where it ends up fracturing into rocks, small rocks. And we would play on that. You'd run and jump, right? And so you'd land in this little pebbly rocks, and you could jump like 10 feet out and land way down there, and it would cushion your fall because it would slow you. And we thought it was great. Number 2 site on the Superfund list. Then I watched them my whole life haul that very same material up to Northern California between Shasta and Keswick Dam, and they would use that for the road. When there was a railroad there, they used it, and they just cleaned it all up. Of course, that was after I started notifying people about what had happened, that people were having 1 million tons of this poisonous rock kicked into their water supply every year between Keswick Dam and Shasta Dam. Used to be an old mining place there, Matheson, where they mined Iron Mountain Mine, which is highly toxic now also. I grew up on that. That's why my lungs are fucked up. That's why I got shit, I have what they call crushed glass nodules. When you're riding your dirt bike, or it didn't matter what, driving, you're grinding that shit up into a very, very fine powder that would stick to everything, including your lungs. I think Southern Pacific owned that property. And they did a real sneaky fucking thing there. Very sneaky. And I have proof. Okay? They went to something called Brown's something mine, Brown's gold mine, or whatever the fuck it was. And they got some slag from that mine, same kind of melted rock after processing, okay? And they spread that around trying to say that's where the material came from. But it's a lie. It came from Selby. That was just a cover story. I have both samples in here. I've done a video about it already where I can show you the two different samples. One of them is really, really, really heavy, full of heavy toxic metals, and the other one's very light. They have totally different compositions. I can take you out there right now today and find you all you want from Selby. But they're just not repaving the road. They used to have that shit 3-4 feet deep, and cars would run over it. It would start to get whoop-de-doo. They come in with a tractor or a fader, right? The guy fader who had the property out there, the people who I got in a fight with all the Hayabusas about, he would drag that and level it out every now and again. And that was the road, how we got to my grandpa's cabins and his area. We had the last two areas out there between Shasta Dam and Keswick. Vast, large areas of land that was then taken by the government from my aunt because she was senile. They went in and had her file quitclaim deeds to the government and told her that it would make it easy, that it would be cheaper for us to have the property. So when she died, that was it. We lost our ability to say that was our claim. It was stolen, basically. So yeah, my exposures, I worry about that with my memory. Radiation, chemical, pollutants, heavy metals, you name it. I drank water that was a very, very cold spring that came out of Iron Mountain. So whatever the hell's going on in Iron Mountain, all big, super secret shit. You know, you want a conspiracy, man, talk about Iron Mountain Mine. Just drinking that water my whole life. So, yeah. It worries me when I can't remember stuff. That was always my go-to, was it? My memory. I have memories that go all the way back to when I was not liking breastfeeding and being in my crib, discovering my hands. All those memories are clear. No problem for me. And then I can't remember a simple, common fucking term. They get stuck on the tip of my tongue, you know what I mean? It's the exposures. They're finding out more and more that toxic exposure has a lot to do with that. Yeah. All right. I just had to wank a little bit. It just happens. It happens more and more. It's kind of how it is. I refuse to believe how old I am because I don't, my body definitely feels like it, but mentally I don't feel like it. And then when you try to do what you think you can, and it's like, hey, you can't do that, man. Your body's like, not happening. It's the memory thing. You know, I don't mind being weak and, you know, in pain all the time, but I like my mind to be functioning 100%. See, this is what sharing your fears is about. That's one of my fears. This is what it's about, so that you can be open and honest with the world, and that makes it easier to digest. Because I do notice a difference from 30 years ago and 20 years ago and 10 years ago. I noticed the I noticed the decline. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go watch I think watch a little college football today. Everything looks so much better on the big screen. Football is just one of those that's really benefiting because everything just looks so cool. The grass, the uniforms, all the colors are so much brighter. Everything looks so good. It's amazing. Okay, I feel better. Had to get that off my chest. That's like the second time in 2 days I couldn't think of a word. And then I look it up and I'm like, of course that's what it is. Of course. I don't know. I don't probably I don't even know if I have any subs that are as old as me. People that I share my life with. I never ask. I don't ask them questions. I consider it's up to them if they want to say something. I never ask. Some people offer little tidbits of personal stuff, you know what I mean? Which I think is kind of cool. All right. I'll take a break, and then if it happens again, I'll do another video.